Sir? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put that seat up for me.
Why?
Safety protocol, sir. Please, seat in the upright position.
This is for safety?
Absolutely, that's what I just said.
Dude, it's kind of embarrassing. I can't, it's tough to fit. I can't fit with it. If with the back, it helps.
Yeah, you're having a tough time fitting in that seat. Maybe you should take better care of your body.
Are you a psycho, dude?
Sir, I'm trying to keep safety protocols in place and doing this for your own good.
Oh, whoa. It does feel safer.
Is there a problem here, sir?
I'm fine.
Sensing a lot of attitude from you. I just wonder if I've got to go get the captain.
What are you gonna tell the captain? We got a guy reclining back there. The fuck's he gonna do? Turn it around?
He might.
He might emergency land this thing because I took a nap.
He might.
Is that what did 9/11? 19 fucking dudes reclining?
Did you just say 9/11?
Oh boy, we got a guy reclining.
Sir, can I get you something to drink? Maybe a Diet Coke?
Does your dad know you do this shit?
How about some peanuts? You can scoop them out of my hand, you big elephant. You
know, it used to be fucking hot ladies that had your job.
Way down.
The fuck's wrong with
A
you?
little of this, a lot less back.
What are you talking about?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Upright. Keep it upright. I'll see you on landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. It appears we've lost the left engine. Not to worry, we have two engines. This plane is built to be flown with just one engine, and there is no way... fuck. There goes the second engine. If you have someone you'd like to call, I would advise that you do so now.
It's Mom. Mom, listen.
I'm gonna have to call Dad, okay? Is Dad there?
I'm not gonna make it.
Just tell him I love him, okay?
But I love you.
Yeah, I'll tell Papa you love him too.
Is this Rick's auto body? Yeah? This is Shane with the fucking red Subaru. Yeah, you guys fucking suck at your job. I'm gonna come down there and beat the fuck out of you, you fucking stupid bitch. Alright, I'll be down in 10 minutes. Get ready. You better start stretching. I'm gonna fucking wear you out, dumbass. 10 minutes. Parking lot, pussy.
Excuse me?
What? Calling people I fucking hate.
Did you have loved ones to call?
Am I gonna call my wife and kids? Listen to her fucking bitch at me for the last 5 minutes? Fuck that. I'm about to die, dude. She's gonna fuck someone else, like this year. That fucking pisses me off a little bit.
Haley, just a minute.
What are you gonna tell her? Oh! Nobody wants to hear their fucking mom die. $100 she's putting on Netflix in 1 hour. Actually, fuck it, I'll bet you $1 billion. Call someone you hate and really fuck their shit up. Give it a shot, dude. God just gave us a gift. Try it.
Haley, put your dad on the phone.
Hey, Mom, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, everybody, stay calm.
No.
And we're gonna brace.
How about I relax instead, dickhead?
Do not put that back. Do not put that back.
Oh.
Sir, get that seat up.
Hey, Dave. Fuck you.
You know, I love you, and I knew from the moment I married you. You'd ruin my life, you dumb bitch.
Remember 07 when I had to go see you in the hospital and you thought I was smiling because I was happy to see you? I thought you was dead.
Yeah, I'm dying. Your plane's crashing, so fuck you.
Oh, stop going out with your friends. You're staying out too late.
Yeah, learn how to fucking end a story. Jesus Christ.
I remember you. You're a night of the living dummy. Goosebumps.
Of course you read Goosebumps, you fucking dumbass.
Ventriloquist looking ass bitch.
I do not look like a ventriloquist dummy.
I know we're probably dying, but if you Google that, that was a good reference.
Sir, do not bark at the
I
intercom.
just put my nudes on Instagram
Yo, you're crazy.
and tagged all my kids.
I'm gonna die. You know I'm trying to make someone come.
How come?
What? Who said that? Marco.
We're gonna make it.
No.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Shit.
You don't know what I tweeted.
Are you fucking joking me?
Crush this fucking blade!
I was just kidding.
We're all gonna die.
welcome to the cage. Joker Ape, James in the rage. Mask on, markers all over the page. Red lines, green lines. Blood on the gauge, on the glitch. And you grab, laugh when the candle crash. Press, she scribbles in black. Little note, flip, float, torch the stash. They got chains on the floor in here. Tickers on the wall like war in here. Every little decimal a scar in here. Every little margin bar in here. I got puts in my pocket, calls in my teeth. I bite through steel when I talk, I leak. Data and drips, straight from the beast. Mad at the mat, I feast on the feast. This AMC ape cage. We don't calm down, we break. Tear through the bars of the page. Rip up your chart, your state. Joker Ape James, queen with the flame. Crazy angry Matt unchained. Stocks, bonds, swaps all frame. On the wall as heads we claim. This AMC ape cage. Echo that rage, that rage. Tap on the glass, feel waves. Welcome to the market, great. Chaotic queen with the glitch brain. Paint whole floors with a wrist stain. I see numbers in a migraine. Turn each tick into bright flames. You hedge, I edge close. Clip that spread, flip that exposure. You pray for calm, I bring closure. Storm in the suit, black as a broker. Walking, I'm a walking audit. Every dark pool, I already saw it. Every fine print line, I highlight, draw. Circle that clause and set fire to office. I turn swaps into small confession. Quiet talk turn to loud aggression. You sleep on stress, I feed off tension. Margin calls my obsession. This AMC AK. We don't calm down, we break. Tear through the bars of the page. Rip up your chart, your state. Joker Ape James, queen with the flame. Crazy angry man, unchained. Stocks, bonds, swaps off frame. On the wall as heads we claim. This AMC AK. Echo that rage, that rage. Tap on the glass, feel waves. Welcome to the market, great. Crazy angry man in the back. Counting each crack in the stack. He see fear when you see stats. He see tracks where you see graphs. He the one circling bonds like break. Coupon drip on a cold steel tray. Every basic point just foreplay. For a blowtorch, wrist display. He don't talk, he tell it. Carry losses like a caddy. Drag your pride down the alley. Make your whole book look shabby. Currency spin like blades. Flags fall in a foreign exchange. He smell panic and rage. He hear tremors and change. Whisper deals in the hall. Turn the thunder on the wall. He got crocs counting falls. Your empire on a call. Who let the apes in the vault? Who cracked open your fault line? Who turned all of your paws? Thought, send a loud red line. Joker Ape James with a migraine. Finger on a big red pen. K.I. Quinn with the lock in. Look of a shark and win. Crazy angry Matt just pacing. Floorboards creep, heart racing. Every derivative tracing. Back to a bet, you were faking. This AMC AK. We don't calm down, we break. Tear through the bars of the page. Rip up your chart, your state. Joker Ape James, queen with a flame. Crazy angry Matt unchained. Stocks, bonds, swaps all frame. On the wall as heads we claim. This AMC AK. Echo that rage, that rage. Tap on the glass, feel waves. Welcome to the market, great. I don't see lines, I see victims every little year. I don't see lines, I see victims every little year. I don't see lines, I see victims every little year. I don't see lines, I see victims every little year.
Welcome.
Sir,
Welcome.
sir.
Sir. I've been getting that all morning today. Sir. Oh, AMC's broke. Oh, AMC's this. Oh, AMC's that. Oh, guess what? Go eat a dick. Seriously. Go read a balance sheet. I mean, come on. It was really funny as Matt was talking to me about all this right before we started.
Numbers don't lie.
No, they don't.
Wow. People lie.
Mm-hmm. Especially on social media.
The so-called professional analyzers.
You mean the professional analyzers?
I've been doing it for 20 years, so I know how to hide data to make fit my narrative. Look at this.
You mean
don't look at that? What are you talking about? Look that. Fuck out of here. I'm not even fucking arguing with anymore. They know what they're doing. It's intent. It's malintent. I'm done with giving these jackasses excuses and just saying they're they're
I don't even
like
have to.
misguided or unintended.
I don't have to. I mean, the same 20 years that like I've been in the business for 20 years, the same.
Yeah, you have a lot of experience in how people with malintent fudge shit
Oh, yeah.
to fit a narrative.
Well, that's because
for their own gain on commission.
Yeah, of course. I mean, think about it. All these
It's
people,
the same thing.
It's the same exact thing. But like a lot of these like bot farms and like all this stuff, I mean, before, back in the day, they used to be paid actors. Literally. Now instead you got these bot farms, and now you have cyborgs that are basically half human and half bot, so they don't have to sit there and do this constantly all day, every day. And it's just making you try to flip-flop a narrative so it suits their needs, so this way it's easier to get you to move off of a trade.
So I'm just going to round it off in a quick overview.
Please, go right ahead.
If you take the 300 and whatever million bottom line loss that AMC reported for fiscal 25, and you add back to the bottom line net loss all the non-cash items that make up, I'm sorry, it was 630 what million?
632 million.
Right? And you take back all the non-cash operational losses or Fugazi book numbers, right? From operating, right?
Yeah.
You only had a fiscal 25 net loss of 119 million.
That's funny.
Over 300 of that 600 was Q1.
Hold on, that's the funny part about all this. You have the best
200 million of that bottom line was spent on Go Plan,
which basically in turn means that by the end of the year you're up 300 million.
I mean, even if we lose 100 million on 26 Q1, that's a 250 million improvement on trailing 4-quarter balance,
regardless,
and puts us at an operating cash flow positive when deducting all non-cash line items of 150 million.
So in other words, you're still a win-win.
And if we make 100 million, or if we, I'm sorry, if we break even in Q1 26, you're talking trailing 4-quarter operating cash flow of positive 250 million.
Interesting. So even if you have a slight win, let's just say like it was 50 million.
And if we're there at Q1, where does that put us at Q2?
Oh, you're ahead. You got to be. You have to start being cash flow positive come end of Q2. If that's the case.
And it only gets stronger from there because odds
just
are
a slate
in
of
Q4
movies.
You don't have the debt restructure of 196 million against a positive quarter that Q4 already was last year.
Correct. Well, that's because it's moved out. It's still a part of the new debt restructure, and it's been moved out to what, 28, 29? Yeah, 29, 31?
No, 29 and 30. 31's the one that they're still working with, but yeah, 29.
Okay. So
I know 29 is the one they're trying to push out to 31. But the one that's already, the 27s are already
factored into that, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they're pushed out for, but with the stipulation of a 31 deal, combined that current 27 push out in with the other 29s under the Deutsche Bank deal.
Yeah. Oh, those Deutsche Bank. Let me tell you something. You know, they come when you need them.
And there again, we talk about, they talk about greenwashing AMC's balance sheet. Well, what about the banks, all right, private credit, who loaned that money to these toxic asset lenders, right? Funding, right?
Oh, you mean what we were talking about last night?
That's private venture capital, right?
Yep.
In tech, because AMC, as much as it is entertainment and consumer, is tech. It's turning more and more tech every year since AI and digital and
the wonderful thing about stuff, Deutsche Bank, the one thing about Deutsche Bank and what they're actually, that's why their book is a lot of commercial real estate, a lot of it. And
yeah, so they're greenwashing their forward shadow bank debt loan structure and private credit by bringing it home to their own books.
Correct. But so, this isn't the first time over history.
It's the fucking central banks that forward the debt money to like Antera.
Yep.
And Melvin, or not what's
Melvin.
The other one?
You have SoftBank's another one. Who else? Antera. You have not Apollo.
What was the big one that Apollo?
Apollo. What? They're
not in AMC anymore. But I'm just saying.
But they were
stuff like that.
They were technically Apollo is a fund, but they a lot of their work is based upon private credit. A lot of it.
These debt bond funds, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's not just AMC, it's all these companies.
Oh yeah. Well, every company has them.
They're loaning toxic debt toward it.
They have to
steal any capital structure that they can get out of it while hedging profits against equity.
They have to. And every company it does. This isn't anything new. This isn't like, I mean, when you hear about this stuff,
but nobody does it better than MicroStrategies and NVIDIA.
Oh, of course, they're the best. I don't know how they got those strategies from. Oh, Enron, but
rehypothecated inventory with credit.
Oh, I mean, just
on forward lease agreements to your own customers and forward.
We took all the debt.
Forward loans against the debt obligation of the orders.
We took all of our debt, and then we put it all into depreciating assets.
All right, so we're getting off track, but I get that.
But it's the joke, and we put them all into companies that we own with depreciating assets, and then on the balance sheet it showed positive.
We insure the debt.
When in actuality,
right? We collect interest on the debt.
It's debt.
And we hedge it by shorting the fucking stock and stealing the equity value that's the company's assets, liquidity against the debt.
Exactly. Just for you. I mean, come on. I mean,
and it's back, and our omnibus value is backed by long-term bonds, which we're shorting them too. So,
oh, of course, we just have to. And then on top of that,
while we're collecting interest on the bonds from the taxpayers in order to have the liquidity and the same as cash bond value to short everything.
And with all this, and you guys know me, I'm not political when it comes to this stuff. Like I said, I don't care about foreign policy. I don't give a crap. I don't have no control over it. I don't care. And
when we need liquidity, we'll just sell all the fucking gold and silver so that we can.
Correct. Well, actually, I got you your answer for what you wanted.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, for what you wanted to know how they were directing gold.
Treasury holder.
Not just that.
Hold on. Go ahead.
The Gulf states like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I can't pronounce them.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Whatever. All those people fleeing like.
Oh yeah, I can talk about that. So in these war-torn countries in the Middle East, there is a lot of physical gold held by all these rich people there. Well, they can't flee the country with their gold.
Nope.
So they're actually transferring, liquidating, or whatever value of their gold. They're selling it into the market and doing whatever they can in order to extract the value of the gold in such a medium that they can actually leave the country with it. I mean, you don't want to leave your fucking gold in some bank somewhere in a fucking country that's getting war torn, because that shit's gonna get gone.
Yeah, that, and then
and you can't just fucking leave with the gold, but then you can't do anything with the gold. You don't have the money to start over somewhere else.
Not even close.
Have a means, so you have a lot of liquidating from that aspect as well.
It's the movie War Dogs, and they just confiscated all of Saddam's money, and that's why we call him the Don. Look at all this money back here, man. If you ever seen War Dogs, that scene is classic, right there. But
yeah, that would have been a good one, though.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing. There's conflicting reports as of right now, and the market right now, it has to be pricing in this CNBC report that basically states that Trump has been negotiating with Iran. No, he hasn't. I mean, it was blatantly stated that he went ahead. He supposedly talked to him. He said, we need to end this war. We want a ceasefire. Or we're going to bomb your, whatever, your electrical towers, your infrastructure, your power structure. And Iran goes and says, we're going to hit everything along the Gulf, all of it. If you guys do that,
every American ally will hit every one of them.
Yeah. So now, but the Dow jumps 800 points. How?
While the yen's tanking.
While the yen's tanking, we're almost at 160. That hasn't moved. I literally watched that all night while making the intro video.
Ooh, you know what I just realized.
I like it when you realize stuff.
I just made a connection.
I like a connection. What do we got?
Last week, Freddie Mae and Freddie Mac had a huge midday fucking dip.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow miraculously recovered before it closed, from mark to mark, close to close.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just randomly. I want to know.
I wonder if that's connected to the gold sell-off.
No.
You don't think that there's a
no? That's the old. I believe that's the oligarchs from the power structure that we have. That's basically saying, hey, we have to.
Well, then let me tell you why. Because let me add this to it.
Mm-hmm.
We know that mortgages can be backed by collateralized pledged Bitcoin.
You mean bullshit?
On bonds.
You mean bullshit?
But no, well, I mean, it's bullshit, but it's real.
You get what I'm saying. I'm just making a joke.
Well, Bitcoin's digital gold, right? And Bitcoin took a dip too.
Digital bullshit, but okay, yes. Yeah, it did.
So is there a connection to digital Bitcoin, gold, central banking, and Fannie and Freddie's dip last week and then
how about paper?
On paper.
That's where the dip was.
Right. Well, it's all fucking paper. They have no fucking actual.
But that's what it was. It was paper.
Yeah.
They have to get rid of it.
There is no fucking. The only physical asset that's available to the market right now is retail labor-based paycheck.
Yep. I mean, just
that's it. Everything else is fucking paper to steal. We're the last asset class.
Pretty much. When you think about it, I mean, it's really, really difficult to. I agree with my contacts of what they told me over at City and Goldman. I'm just going to read this because this breaks this down perfectly for everybody to understand why.
Just while you're reading it and we're listening, all right, just remember all this shit's connected.
Oh, everything is interconnected. Not even a question. The macro is the battlefield. That's where we're fighting. It's not the individual ticker. It is the macro battlefield. So we're going to break this down. Treasury funds are selling 2.5 billion of gold today. And this is not just one firm, but multiple, including BlackRock, JP Morgan, and Vanguard. This is significant amount signals that these major players are shifting their positions away from gold. 2, this is not just a natural market reaction, but rather a deliberate move by these macro-driven giants. They have the power to move entire markets and are not passive buyers stacking gold and forgetting about it. They strategically front-end macro narratives and reposition themselves before the public even knows what's happening. 3, these firms are deeply embedded in gold, not just through physical holdings, but also through ETFs, futures, and treasury-linked flows. And the access point for most people to invest in gold is through paper gold, which is where these players operate. Also, the London's Metal Exchange as well. That's the huge one. Number 4, gold is already an emotionally charged asset, with many people investing in it as a hedge against inflation, currency debasement, and crisis. But now, with the added layer of these macro-driven giants controlling the market, there is even more pressure and volatility. The dominance of these players in the gold market is not bullish or bearish. It is simply controlled. They don't need to manipulate the market in an obvious way. Their size, coordination, and timing do the job. And finally, this playbook has been used before, but now at a much larger scale. When these giants rotate their treasury flows, market shifts. When they pull liquidity, volatility explodes. And when their positions change, retail investors are always the last to know. In essence, what I found out from my colleagues at Citi and Goldman is that gold price discovery is being heavily influenced by macro liquidity engines rather than organic demand. And when this happens, the idea of price discovery becomes questionable. So for these investing in gold, it's important to be aware of these forces at play and to not just blindly follow market trends. And the same goes for silver.
Every aspect, I mean, that's where technicals get shot out the window in these aspects.
Correct. That's when they become the horoscope for men at that point. But this also is the perfect play when you come and think about silver as well. Same thing with lithium. Because you don't have to do anything. You literally just sit there and hold it. It's still gonna go back up. Why is it gonna go back up? Because they need it. You can't hold paper forever. And it's a play to get you to move. They're trying to drive market sentiment by doing this because you think that they're selling, that there's a huge sell-off going on. Matt, you told me last night that what's with the huge sell-off? I'm like, I don't think it's a sell-off. And that's the thing. They are trying to get you to perceive what is actually going on. Think outside the box. Look outside the box. Don't let them control you in a box. Put you in a box. You have to think of you like a criminal. These are all criminals here. You think how a criminal would think. How would I get around this? How would I do this? That's how you play the game. But with all the market forces that are coming into play, this is just one of them. You also have the huge oil problem, huge, and energy shock that's about to happen. Now, you've heard Matt and I speak almost religiously about the negative carry trade. It's important to understand what the actual negative carry trade is. And so for the general version, since rates in Japan were at 0 for the last 30 years, hedge funds, any bank, pretty much everybody went ahead and got yen for free. Then they converted it through a swap or an FX swap into USD. With the USD, ended up purchasing stock and options and bonds and inflated the stock market to where it's at now. Well, when they start increasing the interest on the yen, guess what happens? You owe that money because you borrowed it on 0, which basically goes ahead and weakens the yen. And so when it weakens, that's when you get your debasement at 160. Once it hits 160, there's your nuclear bomb that goes off. Everything gets smoked. Everything. Nothing is safe at that point. Stocks, bonds, metals, nothing. Nothing is safe.
Can I jump in there quick?
Absolutely.
And what is the cause and effect of these total return debt swap derivative baskets, tranches of private credit shorting vehicle products that the banks are selling, which means if the hedge funds that they're selling shorts to are going short, the banks are going to be long on these private credit swaps.
That's because they're trying.
Have somebody short and nobody long.
Yeah, but that's because they're trying to save their own asses at this point.
But what does that leave them? What's the exposure to the central bank, Goldman and JP Morgan, in doing that?
What they're telling you right now is what, $1.7 trillion, when this, in all actuality, it makes 2008 look like a blip.
And the 1.7 that they're reporting is netting, not notional. The notional is 4.2.
Yeah.
Which is your 75% multiplier.
Yeah.
So there's your 3x multiplier on a netting of 10 to 25%, whatever.
Yeah, but now there's
you'll never know because
3, but there could
while
be.
It adds transparency to the reporting side, on the bank side, it's still not going to be public because it's bilateral.
No, they can't. Please, there would be fucking pandemonium everywhere. Listen, you could either have a 3x or a 5x multiplier on that debt once exposure actually hits.
Which means you have to have a higher cash margin premium to hold because of the risk.
Correct. And the biggest problem with all this, and the reason why this is, I guarantee you, is being hidden right now, because, or else the market would have priced it all in, is the fact that this is going to take, that could right off the bat right now could take down 2 of the biggest players, period, right now.
Too big to fail.
I don't give a crap.
They will throw the economy completely under the fucking foreign truck driver.
You have debasement.
Nuclear payload.
Oh, I know. But this is debasement. This is debasement of a currency in real time.
Wait, what? The market's going on? Turn on the printer, Clyde.
Yeah. What's that, Kyle? The stock market's about to fail. Heat up the printer. Heat up the fucking printer. Make $3 trillion appear, and let's funnel it into the Ponzi scheme that is the stock market. That's exactly what it is. But here's the problem, is that the talking heads, your media, are going to sit there and try to tell you that, oh, don't look at that. Look at this. Here, let me show you a different story. Hey, let me talk to you about this. Oh, look at this. Hey, did you guys see this cat pageant with all these little costumes on these cats?
And
oh,
as
isn't
soon
that
as
so
one
cute?
of them mainstream media personalities makes an error and says the wrong thing or looks the wrong thing or notices something that they shouldn't, they're like,
well, you see,
well,
it's like
we'll have
this.
to look and see what happened there, and then they hope you forget.
What was that? What was the on CNBC? What was the Asian woman that I mean, just absolutely dumbfounded because she said the wrong thing. Like it was live on TV. That was one of the funniest moments I think I've ever seen. I mean, I literally almost pissed myself just because it was so blatant.
My more recent one was Bloomberg on the Freddie Mac last week, and they were like Freddie Mae and Freddie down are down near double digits. And they pulled up the fucking screenshot. It was just before or just after close market bell, and they were like, oh, well, what happened there? It actually finished green. Well, we'll have to look into that. And then they changed the subject as quick as they could because they were like dumbfounded.
But I want to know how, like, literally how all of a sudden, and guys, listen, I was up all night, literally, because I have to watch watch all this. So this way I'm as accurate as I possibly can be. And considering Japan is like a 12-hour difference, 13-hour difference from where I'm at, I gotta make sure that when I'm telling you something, this is where we're at, so that this way I'm accurate.
And that's why he was so pissed off last week, because information changes so fast on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
That when he writes up a paper, it's still relative, but there's new information that changes
like that
so fast that you got to be on to the next thing and then correlating new dynamics to the information that you already put together.
If I lose an hour,
it's crazy.
For me to be where I'm at, and for us to be where we're at, if we lose an hour, we lose a day.
This isn't invasion of the aliens. It's invasion of the squirrels. Squirrel.
Hey, toy bone, huh? Like, I mean, it's that fast, and that's the problem. And all of a sudden you get, oh, hey, President Trump said this. Oh, hey, this is happening. Oh, this ceasefire is happening. Oh, this is going on. Where? Oh, we're going to put troops on the ground. Where?
Like, pow.
I mean, this is
in one period he went from, well, we're looking at, evaluating the situation as it comes, but possibly two to three rate cuts through 26.
Where?
Other side, it's like, well, maybe in late 26 we'll have one.
Well, I said my dog ate my homework, but in all actuality, it was my fish. What are you talking about? Like, where? Show me something. Like, listen, I've been to Iraq twice. I was in Fallujah. I was also in R4 in Baghdad. I can tell you right now, you train for interviews. If you have a media personality that comes up and wants to talk to you, guess what you get to do? Nope.
Hey, I just had another neuron spark. just now.
What?
So this private investment vehicle product of shorting, selling short products to hedge funds and private equity.
Mm-hmm.
How does that line up with the bank stress test and fixing their numbers before the upcoming release?
That release should have already happened.
Yeah, but it didn't yet.
But here's the thing. It's 45 days.
Well, they need time to adjust it and figure out how to fix it.
You mean they need time to lie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, I just want to make sure we're on the right terminology here.
But
they
the
need a lie.
cash raise from selling these products could be the stress test crutch they need to fudge the number.
But they couldn't put any of the debt on the Fed's books. The Fed doesn't have it. So I don't know how they're going to do that. That's why I was so interested in the actual stress test, because it's always a 45-day window from the first. It's the same thing. It's here's your 45 days stress test. Then the next 45 days, then you're getting close to, you should be right there when it comes to 90 days. It should be right over, what is that, the rollovers. It's the first rollover of the year, which we know that they couldn't do. Now think about this. You have all this debt. We've passed $40 trillion and it's March 23rd. We've passed 40 trillion. Guys,
Well, when you say the first annual rollers of the year, I mean, you have to equate that the holiday season shuts down a week, which I think is why that 30, 45 day window or whatever on that rollover reporting, right, falls more into the January 20th week as opposed to the last week of January into the first week of February.
Yeah.
Because that window is actually from all the adjustment trades that are actually happening before the holidays for tax adjustment.
I mean, yes and no, tomato. I mean, yeah, but no. It should still fall in line with everything that they need to do, so this way that their books and their accounting is correct. But you're telling,
but what I'm saying is the reporting timeline is different than the event.
Correct. But that's where I was. That what you just said is basically where I was getting to. Is that all this has changed because of what's that word? People wear stripes when they go to this place. Oh yeah, crime, prison, that place. Oh yeah.
Well, they wear orange or brown now, but
but they used to wear white and black stripes, or maybe it was like orange and black. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they can go with the different color with royal pedophile blue.
They used to wear ankle ball and chain bracelets too, but
yeah, they did, or they were called shackles. Ching 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 shackles.
Now the shackles are on their balance sheet.
Yeah, exactly. They're holding them down. But with a negative carry trade, and one of the things that Japan has to do. So right now, you are looking at 600 billion worth in treasuries, in foreign treasuries that have to be sold off. Well, that means our treasuries have to be sold off, because those are the only ones that are actually worth a damn. And considering Japan is the highest holder of debt everywhere, they're the number one from all foreign debt vehicles, whoever's giving them out, England, United States, Germany, so on and so forth. Japan holds all of them. They're the number one debt holder of the world. So they have to release $600 billion worth in treasuries just to intervene.
when you consider international trade in these huge values,
Mm-hmm.
generally is happening through stablecoin, right?
Well, I mean, if you
Rather than currency swaps, they use stablecoin as the transfer medium.
now it's stable coin, but yeah, before it used to be the other way. But
So if the underlying value that's tied to the stablecoin and transfer
mm-hmm.
drops off a cliff, you run a risk of another DPEG.
Yes. Hence
It's
why
like
they have to
Luna.
do it sooner rather than later.
It's like Luna 2.0.
Correct. Hence why they are trying to basically, how do I compare this? Think of 2011, how really what was supposed to happen is they were supposed to buy toxic assets during these tranches. But the amount of time that it would have taken them to basically go ahead and get where they needed to go or get even, it would have taken too long. They would have sunk. Hence why
there would have been no underlying asset value to underwrite.
Correct.
Transfer of toxicity.
Hence why they needed to. They just gave the banks $125 billion, I believe.
On the initial?
Yeah, the initials.
On the initial, yes. And that was just to carry liquidity through. And they didn't want it. And they were like, well, we can just, they're like, by Monday, you won't have anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why your whole premise is to lend this out, is stimulate the system.
And when I say by Monday, you're talking in 6 hours, in 8 hours.
Correct. And I'm still talking that now. But.
And that ties right into the Lehman Brothers, the margin call movie where
yes,
they needed a fire sale of
epic proportions,
60% in the first before lunch.
Yeah,
because they were going to have a 60% markdown as word got on the street
after by one
any value that they had remaining to sell forward and dump and mitigate their losses on I mean, they went from 90% value sale from opening market to 2 hours later. He had to get his permission to say he's offering 60 cents on the dollar from 90 cents on the dollar on the previous hour's trade. And
those
he's like, take it. I don't care because it's going down further than that. Take whatever you can get. But that's like a fucking hundreds of million loss on one trade.
Didn't matter.
Like, yep.
But didn't matter.
Yep, didn't matter.
Didn't matter whatsoever. During 2008, I worked for Citi. I can tell you right now, when we were offloading our bonds, those mortgage-backed securities, 40% went on the day it happened. 40% went in the morning, and I think it was like 75. Like, I mean, it was stupid. We were like 115% by 1 o'clock.
And the other thing you have to remember is when you tie them narratives together with Lehman and with the Big Short, right?
They're
and
exactly
the meetings with Paulson where he told the banks how much they were giving them.
Mm-hmm.
It was that very government crutch money that they were spending buying Lehman's toxic assets to transfer asset value to back the toxic debt at Lehman's losses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had to
and
cover their
some
ass.
of them that didn't have that liquidity crutch from the government ended up fucking bankrupt. Not the big players, but they basically passed the bags to all these other smaller venues, hedge funds, small hedge fund, family, investment firms and private equity and stuff who bought these assets without the asset backing, that when it tanked, they thought they were getting a deal, 60 cents on the dollar. Yeah, we'll take them.
No, they weren't. They were getting...
By the launch, they were down to 20%, 20 cents on the dollar.
Once they got repriced.
And they didn't have the fucking government crutch to back the liquidity and belly up. And now how many people lost jobs in the financial sector? Not even counting like the real estate agents. And
I mean, they were all gone. Anybody that was a broker during that time, like in real estate, you thought you had a name, you didn't have.
And even if you had
shit.
AIG's insurance, they didn't have the liquidity to back you.
No, they did not. But
and they basically defaulted on all their insurance structures because, I mean, the government just bailed them out to keep them.
Hush, hush. That's exactly what they
That
did.
was the next injection, which made the initial 125 look like pennies.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up ballooning to what? At that point, it went up to like 1.1.5 trillion or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 1.1.
Like 2011.
It was 1.1 or 1.2.
And then by 2013, it was over 2.7.
Yep.
No, 2.4.
No, you were right. You were right at 2.7. Go on.
Because I was correlating that with the early Q1 22, right?
You were right with 2.7.
Reverse repo was up to 1.4.
Yep, you were right with 2.7.
So you can add another 1.4 post COVID.
Yep.
And now we're spending $1 trillion a year alone on interest in what, 300 to 400 billion in spending a month.
I mean, if you're probably,
and
more
that
than
was
that.
that was before this Iran war.
So here, when you realistically think about it, so the last administration, and this is right, Trump spent on COVID spending, his last year was $4 trillion, right? 4 or 4.5, somewhere around there.
It was 4+.
Okay, 4+.
And Biden post COVID, well, not post, but post recovery, post opening,
another 4,
post vaccine, matched it.
Yeah, another
in
4
in his first year.
So that's 8 trillion for year one, or 8 trillion plus year one. Then
it was 2 years. Trump's actually a year and like 8 months.
Okay.
Trump's last 8 months and Biden's first year was close to 8.5 trillion.
Okay. Then throughout the rest of the term, the total that administration spent was $16 trillion.
But going back to that 8.4 trillion,
mm-hmm.
that was at that time, that was 20% of the US dollar that was
in circulation.
In circulation in the existence.
Now we're at who knows? We are at a record. It's circling in that's in circulation right now.
They're calling like high 40-50% of the money that's in circulation now was basically doubled pre-COVID cash.
They don't have any idea what's circulating where. They don't know.
Because it's all in paper.
Correct.
But, I mean, debt notes are no different. Your dollar fiat is a debt note paper. Yeah. But it's physical. You can hold it.
Correct.
Now everything's digitalized and nobody knows where the fuck it's at. And like JP Morgan said before the Great Depression,
mm-hmm.
when a shoe boy salesman was giving him oil stock advice, when a shoe boy shiner is giving you stock advice, nobody knows where the money's at and it's time to fucking get out.
That's a problem. That's a big problem. Here's another big problem. Besides that 600 billion that Japan has to go ahead and just, dump, because that's the only reason that it could go from where we were at like 4:30 in the morning, which was 159.54, to now it's at 158. 600 billion in treasuries intervening brought it to that. 158, hold on, I'll give you the exact number. 158.46 as it sits. So they intervened. They dumped those treasuries. Where now you...
The important thing to remember, though, is that the money's out there.
Oh, yeah.
Digitally, it's out there. It was printed. It's there.
Oh, yeah.
Just nobody knows where, and they're not going to tell you where because
somewhere
take it back and get out of this fucking mess and redistribute it out of the fucking top 10% where it's hidden.
Hey, it's somewhere over the rainbow. The skies aren't that blue either. Here's the other problem. This is the bigger problem. Is that Trump and the Japanese prime minister are basically trying to work out an arrangement to where we supply Japan their energy and oil. That's a bigger problem. That's a huge problem. We don't have the amount of oil to cover the United States and Japan. There's a reason behind all this. They don't want to see a negative carry trade go up in smoke. That's the only reason. That's the only reason that they're intervening and trying to give them oil. There's no other way possible that there's any other reason. It's not to help out our ally. Oh, yeah, let's help out our allies with helping them with oil. Because they get the majority of their oil through the Middle East and right through the Hormuz Strait. And that's all stopped. So a country that's 95% dependent on purchasing foreign oil can't get a drop. It's all stuck at port. Or if they are, then they're paying a ridiculous insurance premiums just to try and get it there. Which, going back to our battlefield, the macro battlefield, what screws up economies is when the supply lines stop. That's the biggest issue. That's how you see inflation start going through the roof. That's why you see gas prices that start rising because they can't get fuel from outside into port. Then you have the next problem that's coming to you very, very soon. You have right now in the United States about 57% of all farmland that had a farm that was growing food are foreclosed on in the United States. 57%. That is a big problem. Now with increased gas prices.
Now I want to add to that because this is something that we talked about too last night.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember that previously farmers didn't get foreclosed on their properties because they had a residential property value demand where they could avoid foreclosures and bankruptcy by selling huge plots of land to housing developers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that now.
Nope.
So they don't have a backstop to just go ahead and get out of their bankruptcy foreclosure farm situation by selling off plots of farmland to developers.
Hey, how much is that lettuce over at the grocery store? Well, it used to be $1.99. Now it's like $6.
Right now, you have what's the ratio numbers of sales to sellers? 10% sales on a 90% on a 100% supply. Only 10% are actual sales.
I wouldn't. You're giving credit. I wouldn't even give them that. This is the worst sales cycle of real estate you've ever seen.
I think I saw data that basically said for every 10 houses up for sale, one gets bought.
You're dreaming. Realistic, depending on where.
And they always fudge the numbers anyhow, but I'm just saying even that's bad.
Mm-mm.
And mostly because they're keeping the prices so high. Nobody's in the rates and the forward cost to take that
par rate right now on a single family home, and this is if you have 800 plus credit, you are sitting at a 7.7% interest rate, and that's par
on an evaluation that went up almost 80%.
That's over a home. That's a price of a home that's 300,000 plus. You're getting a 7.7 at par, supposedly. I don't believe that, and here's why.
And when you say 307, that was on a home that
I'm saying 300,000.
180.
300,000 supposedly is supposed to give you a 7.7% interest rate, and that's at par. That's not happening.
That's if you have
800 plus credit,
30,000 down payment.
That means you have
10% down payment on a $300,000 house.
That's not happening. That's not happening. I don't care what anybody says. That's not happening, because here's why. Your banks right now, because of them cutting rates, can't afford the loans and bonds that they currently are sitting on that have higher rates. They don't have the money for them.
Are they still doing that pretty much where you almost have to have a pre-approval before you can even close?
You pretty much have to have negotiated numbers all the way down to a thimble. You're not getting that.
Which is also putting a crunch on commission payments across the industry.
You would never get, you're not even getting it. It's not even feasible anymore. Like how 2020 was, how anything before COVID was, all that's out the fucking window. All of it.
So when we talked last night, you basically said black swans everywhere.
Correct.
And you have professionals in the industry.
Yeah.
And they obviously won't tell you like what the problem is, but they're basically telling you, what do we do? I've been asked by three. That funny because it's like, I got a problem. Can you fix it? What's the problem? I can't tell you.
I can't fix it. I can't. It's impossible. If you're telling me I can't tell you the problem, but you were right about the problem before, that's great. What was I right about? I don't remember. Probably why I left working with you guys, because you didn't listen.
Well, when you're right about a lot of things, it's hard to pinpoint exactly which right they have a problem with.
Exactly.
They can't tell you which wrong they did.
Exactly. But I mean, here's the problem. If you are sitting here with all of these loans right now, so all these mortgage-backed securities that you had these higher interest payments on that you have to pay forward for these bonds, guess what you don't have? You don't have enough money. So, in other words, you have to sit there and you actually have to charge points for all your newer loans just so you can cover the back loans that you've been sitting on.
And that's where the Jenga puzzle turns upside down.
Correct. Because now you're always in a position where you're chasing and you can't get ahead. So
there's no new contracts out there to stack onto it was post tranche. What the guy in the short squeeze when he was in Vegas say?
It's
what's the next level after
squared. It's
a
CBO
squared. There's no square to do because there's not enough fucking new contracts to pile in.
The best part about, the funniest part about it all, you have a loan. You go ahead, they're saying, oh, we'll give you a 7.7% interest rate. That's par. Meaning you don't have to purchase points. But then you get to the closing table and they say, oh, wait, well, we just got done talking to the bank. They're going to charge you a 1.875 discount point for you to get your rate. And then the whole deal is blown up right there at closed. And that's happening left and right. Why? Because the banks they're stuck. Now here's a bigger problem. So we were talking about.
Now, is that because of higher margin risk that they need to cover, that they're adding that?
No.
Underwriter? Or?
That's their back end. That's fucked. Because
right.
they
the back end margin risk needs that extra 1.5 points to
cover.
Right.
And it can't cover. So let's take this one step further. So we were talking about those private credit funds. These private credit funds are sitting here and they're dying. They're sitting there and they're just getting blasted out of the fucking universe right now.
And remember, 90% of that is in your fucking tech sector bubble supporting the SPY, which is not what 90% of your private credit.
I gotta sneeze real quick. Right. Video. What?
Bye now.
Bye. Hold on. I can do that.
It's gone.
Where is it? Hold on.
Bye.
You're screwed.
And it's gone.
So the problem that you really have is that with these credit funds and these private credit funds, and they're just dying. They're, literally dying. And I'm going to go into this more in a little bit. But the real problem that you have is that these banks are now giving hedge funds a way for them to try and short these private credit funds. Why are they doing that? Well, they're trying to hedge themselves so that this way they're not absorbing the majority of the loss. Well,
it's to level off their book losses against short gains when it crashes. But
there's a problem.
If you don't have assets, you lose margin. If you lose margin, even if you're making gains on your shorts, you're not making enough to cover your asset losses on the backside of the asset value. That's backing margin on the loan.
But the problem with that is you have two players, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. What did they do? Oh, they only sponsored 4,400 of these hedge funds.
And remember, the netting value at 1.2, right, isn't the same as the notional asset value.
Nope, not even close.
Which is the 4.7? Yeah. And every percent of interest to that adds how much?
It goes to Pluto.
Wasn't it like 700 billion?
Something stupid.
For every point?
Yeah, something stupid.
So if you just lost another quarter point in the carry trade, which is the source of all this liquidity for 30 years, right? And so you're paying forward a point, which is a point loss on the loan payback, and your forward interest on the same as cash U.S. bond that you are now losing another point on, right?
Drowning.
You have a compounding effect of 1.4 billion.
Yeah. And it just compounded. Now, the juicy part, the what you want to hear. How about a 3 to 5 times X multiplier? added on to each one of them. Why? Because this is the private credit black hole that I talked to you guys about 4 months ago. And how you just get multiplier and multiplier. Here's a black hole. It's just spinning around in a circle. Oh my God, it's up to like 900 billion at that point. Now it's at 1.7.
Another important thing to remember is everybody associates the Japanese carry trade with the U.S.
It's not.
But it's not just the U.S. So you take a country like India, who does a lot of fucking venture capital value, and they probably use the same 0% Japanese yen carry trade into their economic structure, in their private credit staple investments like Silicon Valley Bank, who had a huge more value effect in India than it did California, for all intent and purposes of total country assets, right? You only need one of these small countries to go into a failure to have a global ripple effect. And so now you add India and the Middle East wars and the oil factor to the rising Japanese interest on the carry trade to the private credit cockroach tech crash.
Enron 2.0.
Global
Enron 2.0. Global Enron 2.0.
Like when you think about Greece's ripple effect when they went under, or was it Iceland? When they went under, Italy when they went under, like the ripple effects of that, and we're talking global compounded compared to these isolated sector problems within countries. But when 90% of the U.S. market is inflow through venture capital,
it's all.
You only like an India type failure or is catastrophic to the U.S. market global structure, and the contingency to that alone, I can't even fathom. And what people fail to realize too is in post 2008 great financial crisis, it wasn't just the U.S. economy that we were printing money to, and since then it isn't just the U.S. economy that our tax dollars is being funneled to. It's being funneled to all these global currencies and these global economies and these global government market structures, liquidity, to keep the governments afloat. Which goes back to your other video where you only lost.
That's why I put that video up.
What do you mean I did good?
That's why I put that video specifically.
In these times, that's a great performance.
Oh, that's a great outcome. No, it's not. It's the exact opposite. It's not a good outcome at all. But that's the whole reason I put that video on for the show, because this is where we're at. How can broke economies lend other broke economies money
who can't pay them back
and can't pay them back to the other broke
because
economy?
They owe another broke economy.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking you.
Borrowed from another broke economy.
Exactly. But that's what I'm asking you. Why
am I
wrong?
Answer? Well, where's all this coming from? China?
Yeah. Why is the dollar so strong? Because it's owned by China. Oh, it only gets worse. It literally only gets worse. But it's blatantly showing you something that's obvious as of this point right now. Blatantly. And if you don't see it, I mean, either you have blinders on, you have some, I have no idea. Maybe night vision that's not using vision at night. I have no idea. Regardless, the government is in it. The government is complicit. The government is against you. That's what it's showing me. They're not on your side. They're not trying to help. They're trying to take. They're trying to position themselves to basically help the 1% and give all the money to them, because they're the ones that dictate who's in charge. Who's the president? That's the problem.
Well, it isn't even just the government. It's the global oligarch banking system that's trying to turn it into centralized blockchain control of everything, which is...
They're trying to keep paper.
I don't even want to imagine what the outcome of that is. We'll be China.
Yeah, we would be China.
They'll just shut you off. They'll control you.
Oh.
You'll be in a financial oligarch prison of control over everything. And there's no amount of cold wallet storage that can save your value from their control
none
of the underlying centralized blockchain value control. And sure, you can see, all right, they're doing this, they're doing that. What can you do about it? Nothing. Even if you can see it, they're so blatant in your face right now, they don't even fucking care anymore.
No. They don't.
They're like, you're not going to fucking do nothing. So whatever, you can bitch, gripe, you can see it all. Here, yeah, we're sending a bunch of fucking of your money to Somaliland and everybody's taking their cut, but what are you going to do about it?
Do you know what the perfect example was? It was literally Biden, during Biden's term. Hey, Ukraine, no problem. We're gonna push the money in and it's going to go out the back. Whoever we got to launder it to. I mean, whoever we have to pay. But it was perfect.
Whoever we have to pay to get it to the bank so they can continue to fucking...
Oh, by the way, we're going to steal that money from Russia. Don't worry about it. Oh. So we got text with, like, Abbott and Costello. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect description. I agree with that, for sure. What's crazy
is you got fucking Iran being absolutely 100% supported by China and Russia, who have nuclear weapons
aimed at us.
And they could fucking be like, you know what? This has gone too far. Here, Iran. Here's some fucking nuclear warheads. Here's where you need to target. Send them off. No different than us using Ukraine as our proxy.
As our launch board. For sending our weapons through. But this is where that whole stablecoin problem comes into play. I guarantee you, if they were to go ahead and wipe out the debt, like just wipe it out. No more debt. We put it all into stable coins and they absorbed it all. And this way we have a clean debt ceiling. I guarantee you, Putin's sitting there going, we would just see mushroom clouds everywhere. Guaranteed.
Well, Iran already proved that they have the ballistic missile capability to reach London at this point. They don't care how accurate it is.
No, doesn't matter. Oh, we were trying to go for the Gulf. We ended up hitting Chicago. Oh, bye guys.
We were going for a munitions factory in France, and we were aiming for London.
Like, we hit Dublin.
But I mean, we hit the outskirts, but whatever.
We hit Dublin. It's okay. We were close. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you.
Now, lift the sanctions. Get your ass out of the Middle East, U.S. Give us their $800 billion in financial recovery over the 40 years that you sanctioned us out of.
I can tell you right now,
and let us pursue our capable defensive nuclear armament,
which is never going to happen. Never. You think we just built a fucking day spa in Afghanistan?
And until then, we're not going to open the canal.
We're not going anywhere. I guarantee you, he's going to bomb. He's going to. This is.
Well, let's go to Trump, because the rumor mill now, which is supposedly backed by
CNBC
government officials, is saying that the 82nd Airborne got their fucking deployment papers and are on Marine ships. No. Now,
where? It still goes to the back with the same verbiage. Where? I know what you're saying, and I totally understand, and I agree with you. We talked about this last night. I just don't know where they would drop.
Well, I'll add to that context. When I was at Fort Hood, right before the second Gulf War, I got in after the first Gulf War, after I graduated, and I got out in '97.
Okay.
Late September '97. In '96, I got redeployment to Korea from Fort Hood.
Oh, fun.
Now, Korea was fun, actually.
Oh, it's fun. I mean,
I don't remember a lot of it.
Probably really drunk a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, soju can kick your ass.
I can tell you right now, the tankers that were stationed over there, they are the funniest people in the world. I don't care.
Not as funny as the fucking. I was in the Sinkhawk, Commander-in-Chief Blackhawk Air Base. And when I say Sinkhawk, Commander-in-Chief Air Base, we had 4 companies of Blackhawks whose job was to get all the dignitaries and important people around throughout the Seoul area as far south if a war broke out as possible.
Okay.
And my job was to sit on top of a mountain and run a retrans radio to communicate from our home base to any southern facility to keep communications open across the mountain, because it was one of the highest peaks. Like, literally, there were no roads. They took us, our Humvee, all our equipment and everything, to a little tippy top of a mountain with a helipad, a library, a gym, a kitchen, and a bunkhouse.
Okay. I know what you're talking
about. And they put us up there for 2 to 3 weeks, however long they were training on the other side of the mountain to test our communication capabilities and stuff with the helicopters when they crossed over the mountain pass, which would block radio communication. So, but going back to me getting transferred there in '96, about 4 to 5 months after I left Fort Hood, my old unit and a bunch of other units at Fort Hood got deployed for training in Saudi.
Okay. Still,
that was about 3 years, 2.5 years before the Bush Jr.
With the with his own pronunciation of like words, like hypocrisy.
So while they got deployment papers, it doesn't necessarily mean they're planning a ground attack, but they're effectively going there to train in the imminent possibility that they're going to go boots on the ground.
I can tell you right now.
I don't know. I'm speculating based on my military experience. They don't just send troops halfway around the world. Send them to the National Training Center.
They're going to go to like Fort Polk first.
Wow. Army, it was
Fort Polk.
Bristow, California, in the Mojave Desert.
Okay, so for us newer generations, we went to Fort Polk when we were going to Iraq, because that was the only like simulated town. Like the whole town is just a simulation. That's what they were. That's what they do.
That was urban warfare, which is different than.
Yeah. I'm just giving the what the comparison was.
They have training centers
everywhere,
localized within the country for all the, because I mean,
whatever your flavor is,
you can find a simulation for any region in the world where you would have like type conditions.
Whatever your flavor, Alaska, we got a station for you. Oh, please we do not talk about Alaska in front of me, please. I don't need to hear about it. I don't want to remember the 21 Days of Light. I don't in any way, shape, or form. So let's not talk about that one.
Was that your black swan?
No. That was no swan. That was me going nuts for 21 days. So let's not talk about that one again. I don't want to be reminded. But why this is
I found a trigger.
Yeah, but let's talk about the rationale is that if they are being deployed, they're going to a day spa in Afghanistan that has a PX. They also have a Starbucks there located in the FOB, so they can live a nice cushy time in their barracks that is basically like a 4-star hotel. That's what it is. I don't know specifically because I've never been there. I got the wonderful pleasure of sleeping in containers when I went over there. So I didn't have no 4-star hotel or anything of that nature, or air conditioning for that matter. We got to do a water fan. How about that? But let me just say, where? I'm sick and tired of the same thing. Oh, we got aircraft carriers that are going across the ocean, go across the pond, and they're going to block the strait, and they're going to do this and do that. And where? Who has pictures? Who has documentation? Who is actually, where is it? It's the same thing with the Venezuelan president. Oh, we captured him. Where? All I saw was memes with Trump with a black mustache and dancing in his underwear. Tell me where. Show me. Because if there's boots on the ground, that means that there were reporters on the ground. That's what it means. If you were in the military, you understand what I'm talking about. That's just what it is. Now,
actually, when I was in, there was a whole branch of military service that was just
for reporting,
for media purposes.
That's it. Sir, do we have reporters? No. Are we actually going over there, sir? No. Where are we going? We're going to make it look like you're going over there, but we're really going here. Oh, yay!
Yeah, the new Peter Jennings of the media circuit are these Twitter international personalities that aren't mainstream media. And it's hard to know what their self-interest are and what they're reporting.
You have no idea. What makes this even better is we're working off of shit that's not even real. So when we talked about here's the negative carry trade, here's the oil issue that we have, here's this issue, here's all these black swans that are just coming out of left field, left, right. Here's stocks. Here's this problem. Here's that. I'm going to show you a huge problem that happened on Friday here shortly. But before I do that, this is a special one because this really got my fucking gears going. I give you all Dumb of the Week.
All right, first academic alert. Wiggum, Ralph.
I won!
No, Ralph. This means you're failing English.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Hey, knock it off! There's a kid back there!
I'm in danger!
Explain it to you again. I give you $5 and you buy Daddy a present.
Okie doke.
Hey, give me that. Oh. Whoa, this is a 50. This kid's finally paying off. All right, Ralphie, let's see what you can do with 100. Yeah. Come on, Ralphie. Big money, Ralphie.
Welcome back to the AMC Ape Cage, where we scroll through the timeline rage. There he is on his digital throne, paper crown, tiny brain typing like he's grown. Screenshot ready, hit that zoom, put that masterpiece up in the room. Hey, Dumb of the Week, stand up, take a bow, so proud. is never gonna stop. Chest so puffed on a losing trade, bragging about a move you never even made. Got that quote on the big screen, whole chat laughing, know what we mean. Hey, dumb dumb of the week, stand up, take a bow. So proud of being dumb, wear that paper crown. Dumb dumb of the week, you hit a brand new low. We reach a tweet out loud on the AMC Ape Cage Show. So dumb, that's your victory song. You keep yelling that you're right while we all sing along. Ooh yeah, I'm so dumb, king of clown town cloud. Paper crown on your head while we call you out. Dumb dumb of the week, stand up, take a bow. So proud of being dumb, wear that paper crown. Dumb dumb of the week, you hit a brand new low. We reach a tweet out loud on the AMC Ape Cage Show.
So, my dum-dum of the week so far, it's neck and neck, honestly, for me. And Matt, I'm going to start this off because I know you've been in your moment of zen over here and trying not to look at that, more so look at squirrels water skiing just to calm you down. But I don't know who's worse. And I really don't want to mention, I didn't want to mention his name because I know he talks a lot and whatever, and he's philosophical and he's God. But Nachi, please just stop with your shit. Please. If AMC or Adam Aaron or anybody else hasn't reported on it, stop. All you're doing is making confusion, unless that's what your phase 2 tweet was about. And speaking of which, I do like the following tweets. Hey, he's 0 for 12, and here's a bunch of posts that never happened so far. Just stop. Please. Just wait for the information to come out. It will come out by itself. Adam Aaron knows what he's doing. So does the company. They're going in the right direction.
Honestly, there's nothing really to report on, which is why, from that aspect, until at least the first week of April, when it's expected when AMC's expected to actually close and finalize that at the money
offering
deal with D-Bank.
Deutsche.
I'm just going to call him D for Dick Bank right now. But
okay, that's fine. But it's still, until that happens, that's when you're going to have news. That's when you could go ahead and report and make your theories and whatever you want to talk about. Fine. But the merger and acquisition, it's dead. It's not happening. Or else it would have been, something would have leaked. Like actual fact. And I've scrubbed everywhere.
And it's no different than when we talk about how crucial, everybody knows how crucial the dollar price point is.
Correct.
And people to understand that an RSM wouldn't be required for upwards of a year before extensions. And that's based on a VWAP average over a period that falls below $1.
Not
so
one
if it
day.
achieves $1 for any time in that period time frame, right? For, you know, I don't know, is it a week? Then that period is within listing rights. It doesn't breach listing requirements, which is why, as crucial as $1 is, that little dip that they did in the first off pre-market and post market don't affect that. It's mark to market close.
Correct.
So when you're watching the mark to market close, we're back at 103 now already is the yoke, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect we'll be in that $1 to $1.03 range probably at close for the who knows how long. Now am I speculating? Yes. But at the same time, like, the RS narrative doesn't make sense either until they sustain a period of sub-dollar close, mark-to-market closes through a period time frame that constitutes a breach of listing requirement. And until then, I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. But I'm not worried about it for one specific reason, and that's because they can't have it be below $1 for an extended period of time, or else their collateral on margin skyrockets. And they don't
right
have
now,
it.
We're building such an accumulation event right now at these prices on both a retail and an institutional, on behalf of retail level, that's insane. And the short interest and the dark pools, ATSs and short interest isn't fucking going anywhere at these
levels,
accumulation prices.
Yeah, they're not going to happen. They're not. And listen, like we've already alluded to this and pointed this out Friday. You think the New York Stock Exchange is going to delist AMC? Fuck no. They're not losing that money. Come on. They make so much money.
It's not even that. The banks are making money on the lending, and you lose the lending ability for the short sale.
Yeah, well, that too. That's another one I didn't even think of. Yeah, that's an added bonus. But here's my other one. And this kind of goes into, like, I mean, there's been conversations that have been had. Matt, I know you had a conversation with this dum-dum. But he, and...
Oh, hold on. Because before you move to that, the why they lose lending ability or demand for short forward sale is because once you have a close that's below $1, you subdue the volume by a lot, because now the investment value per trade has to be 100 shares on the price point. So now you're telling people, if you want to invest in AMC, you have to spend $98, $99, $88, $90, because most of your retail brokerages require 100 share purchase on sub-dollar pricing.
Either way, still an added bonus and more money. Here's the other one.
I mean, if you're subduing retail volume out of this trade,
which they are,
who are they going to fucking sell the short to?
But they're already doing that. And they continuously do it. And they've been doing it for a while. That's why all this off-exchange trading has been
But that's
skyrocketing.
because of the retail block accumulation on the 10, 15 shares here, 25 shares there, 5 shares here, with all the fractal shares attributed.
So
you lose that. You lose them small volume PFOF.
Yeah, but we've been below $1.70. Let's just say $1.75. We've been below $1.75 for what? 4 months? 5 months? 6 months?
Yeah, but I'm talking about sub-dollar 100 value.
No, I understand that.
Purchase 100 volume purchases.
Yeah, but I mean,
you diminish the fractal share. You diminish the total block volume of retail ATS short sale manipulation.
But
you don't have as much to work with.
No, I understand
and
that,
the
but
banks,
you still
and
have.
The banks are making hand over fist on the lending.
Yeah, but we're still
but
making
the lending
money.
requires a demand to borrow.
Yeah, but
and the demand to borrow goes down when the retail volume goes down.
Matt, do you know how many people have been loading the boat after below $1.99?
I know, but do you know how many people are loading that boat on $30, $40, $50, $60 purchases as opposed to
Yeah, they were still doing it probably
or
the same.
5 shares here, 10 shares there, not 100 at a time.
Yeah, well, now I guarantee you for probably last year, you've probably had the majority of those retail buyers that have been buying over, 100 shares, not 50 here, 75 there. I guarantee
no, I'm not arguing with that. I'm not arguing that. But you're gonna lose a percentage, a small percentage, be it. It's still a percentage of demand.
True, but I don't think that. I think the overall buy versus the decimal is still larger, way larger than the decimal buy, just over this last year. And that's just because of the price point that we've been at. Because this is more affordable for everybody else. Hence why most companies try to do that, just so that this way people can still buy their stock. It's not like.
But then, all right. So then, address my other point. You lose the fractal value.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Now you're only scalping what, 1/1000th of a penny every trade.
I mean, from their standpoint,
because you move the decimal place, you move the split. Instead of 1/10 of a penny, now it's 100th of a penny.
Yeah, but there's still restrictions for them, even when it goes down below $2. From $5 below, it's still upping their percentage of what they have to use collateral
because they
wise.
can split the penny. Sub 5, they can split the penny.
Correct.
To the 10th.
Correct.
Sub $1, they can split it to the 100th.
Yes.
But splitting it to the 10th is more valuable of a spread trade on volume than splitting the penny to the 100th.
Correct, but that's why they're keeping it above $1.
And that was my other argument point.
Yeah, that's why they're going to keep it above $1. It's not going to. I don't see it dipping below, because the margin requirements that they have to have is what, 150, 175% of the margin.
Whatever the margin is on tenfold.
Yeah, I mean, it's
decimal by 1/10 of a place, so
it's
your margin is going to be.
It's stupid.
A margin of 100.
Yeah, it's going to be more. It's going to be larger than that, because it's already got to 100 once it got below $5. So now
I meant more. So
yeah,
you'd probably be looking at from 5, you move to 100. From $1 sub, you add another 100.
Yeah, I mean it's. I know it's like 150, 175 plus %. It's ridiculous, and none of these funds have this.
And to put it in simpler terms, when you look at bonds yield versus rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
It totals 100 generally.
Yeah,
give or take sometimes on differential spreads or whatever, but you have 80 and underlying to 20% interest, right? Or 90 to 10, or 92 to 8, or 78 to. And there were times where like AMC's bonds were down as low as what, 76?
It is 74. I think it was the lowest one I've seen.
74 with a 29% forward.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing when you're borrowing shares for short forward, right? Once you get into them lower price valuations on the underlying, you have a higher rate forward margin spread on the borrow in order to forward short debt.
Correct. So where this leads to and why our next contestant is good old the Dinero Francesi.
Let's just call him Frenchie.
Frenchie. Okay, there you go. He sits there and he starts talking about how going over numbers and going over AMC and how he's really awfully concerned. He is so concerned about the slate of videos or movies that are going to be out for the rest of this year. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Okay. Spider-Man, Super Mario, there's a shit ton of movies. There's a shit ton of movies that are coming out.
The narrative that I'm seeing, tell me if I'm wrong or correct, but most of his rhetoric on that is the Marvel past failures and Disney. But they're just a small fraction of the blockbuster percent of the box office releases that are coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
When you look at the grand total.
Absolutely.
So to isolate them two aspects based on their past performances, and regardless, Disney still draws. Maybe not to the numbers it did pre-COVID or whatever, but there again, just like the box office, we don't necessarily need Disney to perform like it did pre-COVID.
No.
We don't need Marvel's more of a bonus franchise now with their past numbers compared to pre-COVID, but the diversity of movies that's coming out from other studios, right? And the little add-ons and the quantity of blockbuster releases and not even blockbuster, but just good
quality movies
performing releases more than make up for that.
Correct. And so he goes ahead this weekend and posts a video about AMC being delisted and cutting out everything that Matt and I just went over about how AMC could be profitable by the end of quarter two. Cash positive. Putting themselves in a position where they can grow. Considering that the debt would be already signed for, we would have an agreement in place. AMC,
which absolutely contradicts his near recent past posts about thinking, waiting for a Q1 and Q2 numbers to possibly flip to AMC as an investment rather than sitting on the sidelines watching and waiting.
Correct.
Like, you went from that to this.
Yeah.
Like,
what happened? What spooned off of all this? So then,
and nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Not a tweet, not a talk, not a nothing. But to all of a sudden, I get another tweet, and this one's actually hilarious. Is this account, as well as many others, could possibly be connected, are making a coordinated effort that could be considered market manipulation at Bar Chart and others making similar posts. This should be investigated. U.S. Marshals, HQ, Secret Service, FBI, the Justice Department. And who likes the tweet? None other than our good friend Frenchie. FYI, I think you are one of them. And this is his response. FYI, I think you're one of those people that should be investigated. U.S. Marshals, Secret Service, FBI, the Justice Department. But thank you for the like. I mean, come on. Really? You put out a delisting video. You go ahead, you start talking. Him and Matt were talking earlier and talking about the financials and everything else. You guys actually had a constructive debate from what I read. Then
there's one other name I want to add out there.
Hold on. Let me just finish this. And then then this other person goes ahead and actually tweets towards these government agencies, and he likes the tweet. Come on! How can you be... You are the dum-dum of the week. Go ahead, Matt.
The only person I'll add to that coalition of what the fucks is, was it Stock Twits? Is that the right profile name?
That's a great one, too.
Posted some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, from now on, they're nitwits.
I mean, yes. Yes. 100%. If you can't see what the narrative that they're pushing by now, and just while we've been on so far, I can tell you right now, I've gotten, hold on here, and I'll might as well just call them out while I'm here because it's so much fun for me. Share Goint, continue supporting a shitty company. Where's another one? Somebody laughing because I don't know. Oh, you are fucking dumb. Are you? AMC is broke and done. Really? Where? Show me. Where? Show me your logic. Show me your math. Show me what you're talking about. Because I don't see it. I know what I hold. I know what the game is. I know what the strategy is. We've been telling you guys what it was. I've gone over Black Swans. I've gone over what's happening. And here's what it leads to. It's very, very simple because there's a lot of things that are going on in a macro field. And the macro is the most important thing. It really is. Hence, why we're going to go over a lot of stuff that involves the macro today. Because it only makes sense to go over it. We have to make sure that you guys understand what you really are looking at. If I could ever get this to work. Interact. Here we go. Look at that. Just makes my life so much easier. AMC, the corporate plundering, and the government's role in a financial system on the brink. In recent weeks, something truly disturbing has been unfolding in the financial sector. I want you to picture this. Corporate insiders, those at the very top of the food chain, are making a coordinated exit from the market, unloading billions of dollars in stock. Meanwhile, analysts and the media continue to push the narrative of optimism and buy the dip. It's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, but you're too busy staring at the show to notice that the rabbit is actually dead. The truth is that the reality on the ground could not be further from the sugar-coated spin we're being fed. These insiders aren't trimming their positions or rebalancing their positions. No, they're liquidating everything. Every single thing. And the media, they're either too blind or too complicit to tell you the truth. Not a single insider is buying their own stock. Not one. But hey, just keep watching it, CNBC, and they'll tell you everything is fine, right? But wait, it gets even better. If better is the word for it. While these corporate elites pull their money out and set the stage for a catastrophic market collapse, the government, that ever so trustworthy protector of the public, has been busy helping Japan with its oil crisis. How sweet, right? The U.S. government rushing to the rescue, helping to stabilize the world's energy supply. But when you scratch the surface, a much darker picture emerges. The government isn't helping at all. Instead, it's complicit in the unraveling of the entire financial system. How's that for a twist? the government isn't helping at all. You're probably wondering, why would the government do this? What's the real agenda? Well, brace yourself. The truth is a lot uglier than you might think or expect. It's about helping Japan or stabilizing oil prices. This is a game where the rich and the powerful are the only players allowed to win. A game where insiders continue to line their pockets while the rest of us, the people who keep the wheels of the economy turning, are left to drown under the weight of their own greed. You see, this isn't just about the high-level executives getting richer. It's about how the entire financial system is rigged to benefit the people up at top. The game is fixed, and we, the average person, are the pawns. But here's where it gets truly infuriating. These same elites are getting away with crimes that would land the rest of us in prison faster than you can say insider trading. Insider trading? Sure, but there's more. There's the collusion, the manipulation, the outright theft happening behind closed doors. You wouldn't last a day in a courtroom if you try to pull any of this off. But when you have the money, when you have the power to manipulate the system, you could do whatever the hell you want. But don't worry, the media will keep telling you that everything is fine. Now, let's talk about what's really going on here and why it matters to you. We're about to take a deep dive into the broken system, and I promise you, the truth will be ugly. First, let's talk about the insider sell-off that's happening right under your nose. Here's the thing. The media doesn't want you to know. While they're telling you to buy the dip and keep hope alive, the people who actually know what's coming are running for the hills. The insiders, the ones who know their companies better than anyone, are dumping their stock at an unprecedented rate. And it's not just a little bit. We're talking billions of dollars in stock being sold off before Monday's market even opened. Let that sink in. Not a single insider bought anything. Instead, they're all selling. And they're doing it with a coordinated effort that cannot possibly be a coincidence. What do they know that you don't? Why aren't they confident in their company's future? If they're so sure about the market, why are they liquidating their positions? These aren't random sell-offs. These are strategic moves that show a deep lack of faith in the very markets they're controlling. But don't worry, the media will keep telling you that everything is fine. Let's be crystal clear here. This is not normal. When corporate insiders, the people who are in the know, are selling everything, while analysts and brokers continue to push buy recommendations, something is seriously wrong. But here's the thing. This is not by accident. This is by design. These insiders are dumping stock and retreating into the shadows. And the government is right there with them, enabling the destruction of the market. In fact, we'll show you how the government is directly responsible for the mess we're in. They're the ones propping up the same broken system that's benefiting the wealthy and powerful while everyone else pays the price. But you know what? That's just the beginning. The government isn't just sitting by while the market falls apart. They're actively pushing the system towards its collapse. While they're patting themselves in the back for helping Japan with their oil crisis, they're also inflating the market by holding interest rates artificially high. Let's talk about bond yields for a second. You know, the things that determine the cost of borrowing for everyone from the average person looking for a mortgage to corporations trying to finance their next big projects. Well, the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield is sitting at or above I don't know what it's at right now, but I will look shortly, at 4.38%. And trust me, that's enough to start breaking things. The government isn't just sitting by while the market falls apart. They're actively pushing the system towards the collapse. These high rates are squeezing everything. They're crushing mortgage rates. They're jacking up corporate debt. And you know who isn't getting hurt by this? The elites. The people that can afford to hedge against inflation and play the game. Meanwhile, the rest of us are stuck in with skyrocketing mortgage payments, high credit card bills, and increasingly expensive car loans. All because the government is too busy helping the rich and powerful stay on top. And here's the real kicker. It's all happening at the worst possible time. The government has put us in a position where high yields are crushing everything from housing to credit. But it's not just that. When you throw in inflation and the possibility of rate hikes, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire. The system is so fragile right now, and the government is not helping. They're only making it worse. You're being told to keep calm and carry on. You're being told that the market will recover and that the future is bright. But the people who are actually in control, the insiders, the CEOs, the directors, are selling everything they own. And why? Because they know what's coming. They can smell the crash, and they're getting out before you even realize what's happening. In the next section, I'm going to break down just how bad this really is and show you why it's only going to get worse from here. But before we do, remember one thing. The government isn't your savior. It's the one pulling the strings, and you're the one paying the price. The great corporate escape. CEOs are cashing out while you're being told to buy the dip. The SS Golden Parachute. Buy the dip. HODL. 401k. Money's raining from the sky in parachutes. The great corporate escape. CEOs are cashing out while you're being told to buy the dip. Let's talk about something real for a second, shall we? The people who run the show, the CEOs, directors, and officers of the largest corporations are bailing. And no, they're not rebalancing, adjusting their positions like some charming financial jargon you might hear from your friendly neighborhood analyst. What they're doing is liquidating their holdings like they're in a mad scramble to cash in before the whole thing goes belly up. And here's the kicker. Not a single insider is buying. Not one. But hey, don't worry. The media will tell you that everything is fine and that the market will recover. Sure. They'll say that while the people who actually know what's coming are unloading everything they got. If that doesn't scream run for the hills, I don't know what does. Let's break this down with some real numbers because I know you love facts and not just vague feel-good statements. Mark Stevens, director at NVIDIA, decided it was time to sell 1.7 million shares, $303.5 million. Poof, gone. Matthew Price, CEO of Cloudflare, sold 471,000 shares for $97.7 million. All gone. Poof. Eduardo Vivas, director of AppLovin, dumped 163,000 shares worth $74.3 million. Just gone. Gone. Ryan Lance, officer at ConocoPhillips, cashed out 506,000 shares, totaling $64.5 million. Bye-bye. Hold on. I got to do my voice.
Bye.
And then AJ Puri, EVP at NVIDIA, offloaded 300,000 shares, which equals $54.7 million.
Gone. Just like that.
Now, let's pause and think about this for a second. If these people believe in their companies, in the future prospects of these stocks and the economic recovery they're keep trying to sell us, why the hell are they selling so aggressively? And here's the punchline. Not a single insider is buying back in. That's right. 108 sell orders, not one buy. If that isn't a giant red flag with flashing neon lights, I don't know what is. This isn't a coincidence. This is a coordinated exit. And I know what you're thinking. But this time it's different. The market's fine. The government's working hard to keep things stable. All those insiders must just be taking profits. You're right? Sure. That's the line the analysts are feeding you. Yeah. Okay. But let's not kid ourselves. We've seen this movie before. Haven't we? Let's roll back the clock to 2008, the last time insiders were dumping everything while the rest of the world clung to hope. Just a month before the collapse, the very same thing happened. Corporate executives were bailing out of their own companies, and the media was still pushing that buy the dip nonsense. And what happened after that? Just the biggest financial collapse in recent history, with the market crashing 40% in just 6 months. But no worries. No. It's different this time, they say. Yeah, tell that to the people who lost their savings, lost their homes, lost their jobs, lost everything. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a blip. That 2008 was a blip on a radar in comparison to what this is going to be. A blip. But of course, don't mind the fact that insiders are walking away with billions. The media would rather tell you, focus on those green futures, or the bullish analyst reports that say rosy outlooks. It's almost as if they think you won't notice the $303 million being dumped in NVIDIA stock alone, or that you won't care that billion-dollar sell-offs are happening across multiple sectors. The insiders are fleeing, and they know something you don't. Let's take a moment to break this down for the average person, because it's not enough just to throw out big numbers and walk away. Here's what really matters. When the people who run these companies, the ones who have all the insider information, who understand the balance sheets better than anyone else, are selling like there's no tomorrow, it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. If these insiders have no faith in their own company's futures, why should you? They're cashing out, and you're left holding the bag. Now let's add some context here. You're being told to buy the dip, but the same CEOs and directors are not buying the dip. Why? Well, because they know that that dip isn't temporary. They know that the market is on the brink of something much worse. If they weren't so confident in their company's futures, they wouldn't be selling like this. It's a coordinated exit, a massive liquidation, a fleeing from the scenes before the storm hits. And yet, here you are, thinking everything is just fine, right? The government's handling things. The media is reassuring you, and the stock market is up, right? Well, wake up. The truth is, those CEOs, those insiders, they know exactly what's coming. And they're cashing out before it all comes crashing down. And guess what? They'll be the ones that are just fine. They'll have the millions, maybe billions, safely tucked away, while the rest of us are left to pick up the pieces. The problem is, by the time that the crash comes, you're going to be the ones left holding the bag, while they're all safe and sound, living in their cushy private islands while with private jets. Nice, huh? So let's call it what it is. The insider sell-off is happening right now. It's not by coincidence. It's a sign that the elites know exactly what's coming, and they're getting out before the floodwaters rise. And yet, here you are still thinking it's business as usual. Newsflash that it's not. The market's about to face a reckoning. And if you're still playing by the old rules, you're going to get burned. But don't worry, the people who run the show have already cashed in. They're not just selling stocks, they're selling you a lie. The lie that everything is fine. That buy the dip is a strategy. And that this time will be different. The only thing different about this time is that they're getting away with it in broad daylight. And you're none the wiser. Congratulations. So there you have it. The insiders are jumping ship. You're left holding the bag. Well, they make off with billions, but don't get too comfortable just yet. The great corporate escape may be the loudest signal, but it's hardly the only thing that you should be worried about. The stock market might seem fine on the surface, but underneath, the gears of the financial system are grinding to a halt. What's happening now is only the beginning. Sure, the insiders are cashing out, but that's just a precursor to the bigger collapse that's brewing beneath the surface. If you thought the sell-off was bad, wait until you see what's coming next. The bond market crisis, inflation re-acceleration, and the Fed's decision to hike rates all converging into a perfect storm. As the government continues to play its part in masking the truth, and while the elites sip champagne on their yachts, we're headed straight for the financial reckoning that will make 2008's crisis look like a walk in the park. Don't worry, though. The media still got you covered with green futures and buy the dip advice. After all, they wouldn't want you to know just how bad it's about to get, right? Let's dive into the next layer of this disaster, and that is the bond market. Because if you think that the insider sell-off is the worst part of this, you haven't seen anything yet. The real trouble is about to come for you and come for your mortgage, your credit card, and your car loans. Yes, all thanks to that unsustainable bond yield that's about to wreck everything. Hold tight. This ride's just getting started. The government's masterclass in financial theater, helping Japan while screwing everyone else. Yay! Here's everyone else. Yay! The government, our benevolent puppet master, supposedly working overtime to rescue Japan from its oil crisis. How heartwarming. Really, who doesn't love a good international aid story? But let's not get too cozy in our illusions. Peel back the patriotic wrapping paper, and what do you find? A government that isn't just helping, it's actively enabling the unraveling of the financial system while keeping the average person blissfully unaware. Yes, while the media distracts you with headlines about oil stabilization and heroic interventions, the real story is far less flattering. The government is making economic pain, protecting the elites, and letting you pay the price. Let's start with the bond market, because this is where the government's magic trick, hold on. Ha, that's a joke. Ha ha ha. Magic trick gets really interesting. The U.S. Treasury yields are not just high, they're systematically high and destabilizing. The U.S. 10-year, 4.38%. 20-year, 5%. 30-year, 4.94%. What? How's the 20-year? I'm sorry. It's so funny for me because it really is. Just from my experience working at the bond markets, it's just it doesn't happen. If you're thinking, man, A few percents won't hurt. Well, allow me to translate that into plain human language. The U.S. Treasury market is 30.3 trillion in size. A 1% change in a yield is $303 billion. 10%? That's $3.03 trillion. Yes, with a T. Every time a yield creeps up, borrowing costs for the mortgages, credit cards, car loans, corporate debt, they all spike. The average American pays more to live, drive, and run a household, while big corporations hedge, speculate, and profit. Clever, huh? But here's where the sarcasm really hits. The government claims to be stabilizing the market, while in reality, it's orchestrating the pain. These high yields aren't accidental. They are the subtle weapon to squeeze the population, inflate debt costs, maintain pressure on everything from housing and to small businesses, financing. Meanwhile, corporate insiders you read about earlier, those CEOs who just sold billions in stock are laughing all the way to the bank. Completely insulated from the chaos. And who's footing the bill for this? Rescue operations. You. Every single American with a mortgage, a loan, a credit card. Every worker trying to stretch their paycheck. Let's talk about scale. A small nudge in bond yield cascades through economy like dominoes. Mortgage rates rise, crushing first-time homebuyers. Corporate borrowing costs jump, slowing hiring and expansion. Auto loans, student loans, credit cards, interest spikes, eating away at disposable income. The government's fingerprints are all over this mess. It pretends to be the heroic stabilizer, but in truth, it's a midwife for financial collapse, allowing the system to unwind at precisely the pace that benefits the wealthy. Those 303 billion per percent moves in the treasury market, that's your collective pain being monetized while the elites cash out and media cheers. Everything's fine. Buy the dip. And if you think this is just some abstract Wall Street problem, think again. This is real money leaving your pocket. Every loan, every mortgage, every refinancing, it's all cost more because the government is busy performing the grand financial theater. They aren't preventing a collapse. They're fine-tuning it, nudging yields to levels that make the system appear stable on paper, while destroying affordability and financial security for the average person. So the next time you see a headline praising the government for helping stabilizing energy markets or assisting Japan, just remember, behind the curtain, they're letting the financial system twist and turn, watching as insiders exit, the bond yields rise, and the average American gets squeezed. It's not incompetence. It's not oversight. It's a carefully choreographed act of elite protectionism wrapped in a patriotic bow with you holding the bill. Welcome to the theater of the absurd, starring the government as the puppet master and the American public as the unwitting patsy. And now that we've seen the government's heroic efforts in all of its glory, helping Japan, patting themselves on the back, and simultaneously letting the financial system slowly unravel, you might be wondering, what happens next? Well, buckle up, because the truth isn't pretty. The insider sell-off, well, this is just the opening act. The government bond yield juggling, that's the smoke and the mirrors. The real storm is brewing in the bond market, and it's about to hit your wallet like a freight train. remember those treasury yields we talked about? The 4.38% on the 10-year, the 5% on the 20-year, the 4.94% on the 30-year? That's not just numbers on a screen. That's the system under the pressure. And when the government keeps pretending it's all fine while yields climb, it's like watching someone play Jenga with a $30 trillion stack on the table, and your mortgage, auto loan, credit card are all pieces about to tumble. Every tick up in yields doesn't just affect Wall Street, it hits Main Street, crushing borrowing power, slowing corporate investments, and inflating the cost of living. In short, the government has set the stage, the insiders have fled, and now the bond market is the hammer about to swing. Interest rates, inflation, the debt servicing costs are all converging into a perfect storm. And the average person, you're right in the middle, getting squeezed from every direction. Next, we're going to peel back the curtain on the bond market meltdown, the re-acceleration of inflation, and the Fed rate hikes that are about to turn this slow burn into a full-blown financial crisis. Think of it as the sequel no one asked for, but everyone's about to pay for. Everything's fine. The economy is strong. Brace for impact. Immediate rate decision ahead. Inflation risks. Rate hike volatility. Told you so. What just happened? So steady. Gasp. Clap, clap, clap. The Fed's plot twist. A 2-act economic thriller. Another plot twist. Everything's fine to brace for impact. The Federal Reserve, our nation's money maestro, the self-proclaimed guardian of inflation and economic stability. For months, they had us lulled into a sense of security, whispering sweet reassurances. Inflation's under control. Rate cuts are coming. Relax. Shh. Cute, right? Well, hold on to your wallets, because just when markets were expecting a gentle easing, the Fed dropped the bomb. Nope. Forget the rate cuts. We're in a higher for longer regime. And the message is clear. Financial chaos is now officially on the menu. Let's break this down for the average human who, unlike the Fed, doesn't get to print trillions at will. Just 3 weeks ago, markets were pricing in rate cuts, the kind that would make mortgages a little cheaper, credit cards slightly more manageable, and corporate borrowing less punishing. But fast forward to today, and those same markets are now scrambling to price in rate hikes. And why? Because the Fed finally noticed what the rest of us have already suspected. Inflation is back, and it's back with a vengeance. That's right. The numbers don't lie. Consumer prices are ticking higher again. Core inflation, which strips out volatile food and energy prices, is running at 4.6% annually, far above the Fed's cozy 2% target. And while that may sound like just a number on a Bloomberg terminal, it's real life. It translates to higher grocery bills, pricier gas, and the slow erosion of your paycheck. Every time the Fed tightens, liquidity shrinks, risk appetite fades, and the stock market, which insiders have already abandoned, is teetering on an edge of a cliff. And here's the kicker. Higher rates are just abstract financial pain. They rippled through the entire economy. Mortgage payments climb. The average 30-year rate mortgage currently is around 7.7%. Just got a little more soul crushing for the first-time home buyer. Oh, and if you think you're getting the above rate at par, I have some oceanfront property in Nebraska to sell you. Number 2, corporate debt servicing spikes. U.S. non-financial corporations owe roughly $11 trillion in debt. A mere 1% increase in interest cost, that's $110 billion more in annual interest payments. Money that could have gone to, I don't know, expansion, hiring, or research, now evaporates straight into the bondholder's pocket. Auto loans, personal loans, credit cards, all getting more expensive. If you thought your monthly payments were already high, enjoy that next surprise. Now combine this with the bond market turmoil. We've already discussed. U.S. Treasuries are seeing historically high yields. 10%, 4.38%. 20-year at 5%. 30-year at 4.94%. Even small changes here are catastrophic in dollar terms. A 1% rise in yields on a $30.3 trillion market is $303 billion. That's not just a headline, it's a real financial strain injected into the economy, hitting everything from mortgages to municipal budgets. And what is the Fed doing? Pretending to manage. And pretending to manage it while tightening even further. Brilliant. But here's the real drama. The higher for longer stance signals something the Fed probably doesn't want you to fully understand. They're no longer just keeping a lid on inflation. They're actively constricting liquidity, reducing risk appetites, and setting the stage for the next market meltdown. Stocks will crash, corporate debt will sag under its own weight, and those who thought the recovery was safe will be blindsided. Meanwhile, the insiders already cashed out, the government still playing puppet master, and you're right in the firing lane. Let's put some context around the tightening for clarity. Historically, when the Fed has shifted from cutting rates to aggressively raising them, markets don't just wobble, they implode. Take 2018, for example. The Fed hiked rates 4 times in 6 months, and the S&P 500 fell 19% before the end of the year. Today, with billions already exiting via insider sell-off, bond yields sky high, and inflation refusing to cooperate, we are already primed for a crisis far worse than 2018. So here's the takeaway, spelled out for anyone still holding on to hope. The Fed's new position isn't about protecting your savings or stabilizing the economy. It's about reacting too late, tightening too aggressively, and letting the system self-destruct. Inflation is climbing, borrowing costs are crushing households, and corporations alike, and the stock market is one catastrophic rate decision away from chaos. And when the dominoes fall, you better believe it's going to hurt, and not just in an abstract financial terms, but in your real life, your paycheck, your home, your retirement. The insiders have already escaped, the government is busy keeping up appearances, and now the Fed is tightening the screws. This is not just a market correction. This is a full-blown financial reckoning in motion. And if you think you can sit this one out, think again. The tighter, more dangerous future is here, and it's already knocking on your door. The perfect financial storm where insiders, the government, and the Fed all collide. You're going to need a bigger wallet. Matt, what do you think of the artwork? Isn't that awesome? It says everything you need to see. Congratulations, America. You've reached the grand finale of the most expensive theater performance of your life. Starring insiders cashing out billions, a government pretending to save the world while secretly enabling the chaos, and the Fed tightening the screws with gleeful disregard for the average citizen. Grab some AMC popcorn, or maybe just a calculator, because the curtain is about to rise on this perfect financial storm. Let's recap what we've learned so far. Corporate insiders, the people who actually know what's coming, have fled the market, liquidating billions of dollars in stock. Now, not a single buyback, not one. Meanwhile, the government carefully choreographed interventions helping Japan, managing bond yields, are designed less to stabilize the system and more to keep the illusion alive, while making sure the pain lands squarely on your shoulders. And now the Fed, they've just pulled the narrative of a 180. Forget rate cuts. We're going higher for longer, tightening liquidity and making borrowing even more painful for households and businesses alike. Let's talk numbers, because this isn't hypothetical doom porn. Here's your yields: 4.38 at 10, 5% at 20, 4.94 at 30. The U.S. Treasury market size, 30.3 trillion. Corporate debt is 11 trillion. Core inflation is at 4.6 annually. Average 30-year mortgage is 7.7%. Every one of these figures represents real pain. Rising bond yields mean higher interest rates on mortgages and personal loans. Corporate debt servicing skyrocketing, forcing companies to cut hirings, delay expansion, or squeeze profits. While the insiders who are already sold watch from the sidelines, counting their billions, inflation, which the Fed swore was under control, is surging again, eroding your paycheck, and increasing the cost of everything from groceries to gas, and higher interest rates. They're not just numbers, they are strangleholds on liquidity, meaning there's less money available for lending, investing, or even basic consumer spending. And here's where the fun really begins. Combine all these factors, and you've got the financial nerds call a conference of risk events a fancy way of saying the system is about to break. The Fed rate hikes push borrowing costs up. Inflation keeps consumer spending unstable. Treasury yields ripple through the economy like a wrecking ball. And let's not forget the stock market has already lost confidence, with insiders exiting, corporate earnings under pressure, and speculative bets beginning to unwind. For the average person, this translates into a few unavoidable truths. Your mortgage may spike. The average increase of just 1% on a $300,000 loan is $3,000 per year. Imagine that, added to rising utility bills and food costs. Your credit card bills and auto loans will climb, squeezing disposable income. Jobs may be at risk as companies prioritize debt repayments over expansion or hiring. Your retirement funds, tied to stocks and bonds, will feel the pinch as markets gyrate violently. Meanwhile, those who are already cashed out, CEOs, directors, and other insiders, are insulated from all of this. They sold their shares, hedged their positions, and are now watching the system unfold from the safety of their yachts, private islands, and luxury jets. And the government's still patting itself on the back for their rescue efforts while ensuring that the average American shoulders get the consequences. So what's the takeaway? The truth is brutal. This isn't a market correction, a temporary wobble, or a minor hiccup in the economy. It's a perfect storm. a cascade of failures set in motion by insiders, panic, government complicity, and the Fed. That's tightening way too late, too aggressively, and without a real plan to protect you. Unlike the media's feel-good headlines, this is not a story that ends with everything's fine. If you're still clutching hope that the markets will recover, remember this. By the time the dust settles, the insiders will already be gone. The government will have applauded itself, and the Fed will be rewriting its speeches, while the average person, yes, that's you, is left holding the bag. So strap in. The curtain is rising, and the show of a lifetime is just beginning. Markets, bonds, inflation, and rates are all dancing together in a carefully orchestrated disaster. And if you don't pay attention now, you're going to learn the hard way what it really costs when the insiders, the government, and the Fed all decide to put themselves first. Which leads me to my final word. And I know you've heard nothing but truth and bad. And that's all I really have gone over is the truth of what's going on in our economy. But it's to show you how bad this really is. And for you to start preparing for what you need to prepare for. Does this change my stance with AMC? No, not at all. Not one. And I will explain why I stand with you. My final word. Enough is enough. Why I stand with retail and why you should too. Let me be brutally clear. I'm angry, not the polite, muted anger of a disappointed observer, but the kind of anger that boils in your chest when you see injustice with your own eyes. I've watched in real time corporate insiders dump billions of dollars while the media tells the rest of us to buy the dip and keep calm. NVIDIA's Mark Stevens sells $303.5 million worth of NVIDIA. Cloudflare's Matthew Price unloads $97.7 million. App-loving, ConocoPhillips, NVIDIA executives all fleeing the market, while the rest of us are left clutching scraps. And not one single insider buys back in. Zero. 108 sell orders, not a single buy. If that doesn't make your blood boil, I don't know what will. This isn't a coincidence. It isn't normal market behavior. It's a coordinated exit, a neon warning flashing over a market still clinging to lies, illusion, and false optimism. And the outrage doesn't stop there. The government, the supposed protector of the public, steps in to stabilize the economy, but all it's really doing is enabling the collapse while protecting the wealthy and powerful. They wrap their complicity in patriotic fanfare, helping Japan with oil crisis, manipulating bond yields, and pretending they are the heroes. Meanwhile, the average American sees sky-high treasury yields. I've gone over these 4 times. I'm not going to read them again. And wondering why mortgages, credit cards, and auto loans suddenly feel unaffordable. A 1% increase in yields is a $303 billion in pressure across the U.S. economy. 10%, $3.03 trillion. That's not just numbers. That's your paycheck, your rent, your car loan, your family's ability to survive, being squeezed dry while elites cash out billions and cheer from their private jets. And let's not forget the Federal Reserve, the so-called guardians of economic stability. After months of whispering that inflation was under control, they suddenly flipped the narrative. Rate cuts are out, higher for longer is in, liquidity tightens, borrowing costs rise, And inflation already running at 4.6% for core prices continues to erode the purchasing power of everyday Americans. Corporate debt is $11 trillion. Average 30-year mortgage rates are at 7.7. Every decision, every tick in the market, every manipulation by these powerful players is designed to protect themselves and punish anyone who doesn't have a seat at the table. So why do I do this? Why have I chosen to stand with retail? Because I see pain in real people's lives. I see families struggling to pay rent, young people priced out of home ownership, and workers whose wages were eaten alive by inflation, credit card interest, and rising debt costs. I see ordinary humans being treated as expendable numbers so that insiders and elites can protect their wealth. And I refuse to sit quietly while this happens. That's why I fight with knowledge. It's why I write, explain. It's why I armed the retail trader with facts, context, and strategy. Because we need to understand the enemy, the insiders, the government, the Fed, the short sellers who have abused the system for decades. This isn't just a fight for money. It's a fight for awareness, empowerment, and justice. Retail traders are not pawns. We are the fast line, or the last line of resistance. The people who can see the system for what it truly is and take a stand. Yes, AMC represents an historic opportunity. This could be the Black Swan event, the MOAS, the moment retail traders finally strike back against Wall Street and the nefarious short sellers who have preyed on the ordinary people for far too long. But let's be clear. This is not a chance to become the next group of privileged elite shitbags looking down on others because our money makes us better. When we win together with integrity, with the awareness that our fight is for fairness, not self-aggrandizement. I am passionate because I care about people behind the trades. I care about the retail trader who wakes up every morning working a full-time job while watching billions evaporate in corporate exits. I care about the people who's determined to learn, fight, and act in a system that has been rigged against them from day one. That's why I do this every day. Not for headlines, not for personal gain, but because if I could change one person's life every day, I know I'm doing my job the right way. If one trader understands the system better, if one person can protect their family from financial ruin, and if one investor becomes empowered rather than victimized, that's a real victory. The system is collapsing. Insiders have fled. The government is complicit. The Fed is tightening. Short sellers and Wall Street elites are ready to capitalize on every mistake, but retail traders armed with knowledge, strategy, and empathy can fight back and win. And not just financially, but morally, strategically, and historically. So I ask all of you reading this, when is enough enough? When will you stop being a pawn and start being a force? AMC, MOAS, retail power, these aren't just financial events. They are the battle for fairness, dignity, and control over your own lives. Stand firm, stay informed, fight with integrity, and when we win, remember why we fought. Not to become the next elite looking down on everyone else, but to change the system and prove that ordinary people can and will rewrite the rules. And with that, I give you a new Joker Ape. Matt, as always, thank you for joining me. Thank you for talking. And if you guys ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask.
You have a good night.
Yep.
God gave you this pain for a reason. Embrace it. Every ache, every tear, every moment of suffering is a weapon being forged in the fire of your soul. Don't you dare think you're breaking under this weight. You're being carved into something more powerful than you can imagine. The struggle you're facing right now, it's not punishment, it's preparation. There is no victory without scars, no strength without the storm. You're not meant to live in comfort. You're meant to rise through chaos. When the world tries to crush you, remember, God doesn't burden a soul with more than it can bear. If He gave you this trial, He knows you're strong enough to overcome it. He's sharpening you, molding you into a warrior. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of your war. This pain you're enduring, it's your baptism by fire. Every moment of agony, every time you've hit the ground, it's all been shaping you for the battles ahead. You weren't built to crumble under the pressure. You were built to rise, to stand tall when the world expects you to fall. The weak retreat. They seek comfort, find excuses, and beg for mercy. But you don't get to beg. You don't get to run. You were chosen for this. Every scar on your soul is a reminder that you've survived worse than this before, and you will survive worse again. Each burden you carry isn't a curse. It's a crown. Wear it proudly, because with every ounce of pain, you're earning your place among the relentless. When the world breaks others, it will never break you. You don't crumble. You bend. You adapt. You evolve. The war is coming, and when it does, you will be ready. Not because you were born invincible, but because you were forged in the fire of hardship. Let the pain fuel your hunger. Let the struggle ignite your spirit. You weren't made for peace. You were made for war. And when the day comes, when you're staring down the barrel of adversity, you will not cower. You will not retreat. You will remember this pain, and you will rise. You will unleash everything you've become, because the warrior inside you has been waiting for this moment all along. And when that moment arrives, when you stand on the edge of destruction, with the weight of the world trying to crush you, you won't hesitate. You've been here before in the darkness, in the fire, and you've walked through it. Every whisper of doubt, every voice telling you to quit will be silenced. Because deep down, you know this isn't where you end. This is where you begin. Your enemies, whether they are fears, failures, or even the ones who doubt you, don't understand what they've done. They've fed the beast within you. Every loss, every bruise has only fueled your hunger. You've tasted the bitterness of defeat, but now it's time to feast on victory. You've been conditioned through suffering to thrive in chaos. You are the storm they never saw coming. When you rise, you will not rise alone. You carry the weight of every challenge, every nightmare, every sleepless night. They march behind you, not as burdens, but as allies, reminders that you are the one who survived. You are the one who was chosen to endure this crucible, because only you have the strength to carry it. The world will see your scars and mistake them for weakness. But you know, they are the proof that nothing can break you. The war will not be easy. It never was meant to be, but you were not meant for easy. You were meant for the impossible, for the unthinkable. And when the dust settles and others have fallen, you will still be standing. Bloodied, yes. Scarred, absolutely. But unbroken, unstoppable. Because pain is temporary, but the warrior within you is eternal. You are God's soldier, and you have been made for this war. Now go claim your victory, and when you do, it won't be for the applause, the recognition, or the fleeting glory that fades with time. Number your victory will be personal. It will be carved into your soul, a testament to the battles you fought and the demons you faced down. The world may never understand the price you paid, but you'll know. You'll know what it took to rise from the ashes, to become something stronger than anyone thought possible, including yourself. Every step you take forward now is a step into your destiny. This war you're waging isn't just against the world. It's against everything that ever tried to break you, against every limit you once believed in. And you will break through them all, one by one, until there's nothing left but the pure, untamed power that you've been building through every hardship, every test. You've been tested in ways others will never comprehend. And that's why you will emerge victorious. Because while they shy away from the fire, you walk straight into it. You welcome it. The flames are where you find your strength. They're where you become unstoppable. So as you stand on the brink of this war, remember this. You were made for this. Your pain has been your preparation. You've been forged in the heat of every struggle, every doubt, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on. But you did, and you will continue to do so. Because warriors like you don't fade. They rise. Now step forward. Step into your destiny. This war is yours to win.
Yeah, I got the energy. Yeah. When I'm on the side of you, I change the energy. Hey, I hold this shit together, love. I hold this shit together, love. Hey, free my dog out the slam. Love my children and they moms. Say they killers and I'm one of them. Only the strong survive these streets. I took myself out a week. Excuse me, I just made a mistake if you're watching. But there's nothing wrong with people saying you make a mistake. Just don't never let a motherfucker see you quit. God, give me the strength. Free my dog out the slam. Love my children and they moms. Stay clutching my hammer. Say they killers and I'm one of them. No love for the weak. Only the strong survive these streets. I took myself out of reach. Got tired of peeling off the leeches. You can cover all your scars up and diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. You say you love me, well show me that shit for real. Can't play with love cause that type of shit get you killed. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. I'm beefing with my chick when I'm in jail. Trying not to click out bar restriction, can't make bail. Mine's are gone, but all is well. I ain't called in a minute, ain't bought in a minute. Can't wait to see them stars in the ceiling, free all of my ills. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt.
You say you love me, well show me that shit for real. Can't play with love cause that type of shit get you killed. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. Then I know you see me watching. Hold this shit together, love. When I'm on side of you, I change the energy. Tell them don't play with me. I hold this shit together, love. I hold this shit together, love. I hold this shit together, love. Mine's I love you forever. I know you smiling right now. I know you proud of me. Free my dog out the slammer. Love my children and they mamas. Stay clutching my hammer. Say they killers and I'm one of them. No love for the weak. Only the strong survive these streets. I took myself out of reach. Got tired of peeling all the leeches. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. You say you love me, well show me that shit for real. Can't play with love cause that type of shit get you killed. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. Beefing with my chick while I'm in jail. Trying not to click out by restriction. Can't make bail. My eyes are gone, but all this way her line. Called in a minute, ain't bought in a minute. Can't wait to see them stars in the ceiling. Free all of my hips. Cover all your scars up with diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. You say you love me, well show me that shit for real. Can't play with love cause that type of shit get you killed. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. And I know you see me watching. And I know you see me watching, love. And I know you see me watching, love. Guys, you don't take a chance, you ain't got a chance, you making a plan to lose. Don't need a security blanket, a safety harness, a band in school. Took an advance and paid it back and made an advance and move. I know how to stand and greet a man whenever he walk in the room. Unlimited bands, come on command, ain't changing my attitude. Latan, you know that I love you forever, could never be mad at you. You ain't wanna win as bad as I want you to win. I had the scoop, the 10 that been inside the bag. I bought you the blaze and shoot. I bought your chain, they making it rain on you. I know that you gotta go home when they talk about you, I'm praying for you. I had my heart scarred by the woman that I used to call my mama. You know if I fuck with you, I go to war with God behind you. I've been to you, whom I was talking about on fly again. My wing got broke, it's healing my wounds, I done got fly again. I done got fly again. My wing got broke, it's healing my wounds, I done got fly again. All you hoes, think of the past, I can supply a 10. Metric ton loads coming in from the island. That bitch you wish she flaw as hell, focus on ass shots. That bitch I'm with she with the cartel, focus on stash spots. A lot of diamonds, I'm about diving, bread when the chain glisten. Chicago jail went straight to the cell with all of the gang members. Now mine T off Green Street, she one of them gang members. Mama Duck, I love you to death, you one of them gang members. See, a lot of time when you're a real nigga, you don't never get saluted how you supposed to. So for all of y'all, I rock a lot of pretty fellas, tatted real bad, with a cartel swag, pants hanging on my ass. And I know you see me watching. Then I know you see me watching, love. Then I know you see me watching. Then I know you see me watching, love. Then I know you see me watching, love. Reporting live from, you know, we on Bread on a Mountain right now. You know, I hope you're enjoying yourself with this shit. Nothing but fly shit going on in the game. Yeah. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt. You say you love me, well show me that shit for real. Can't play with love cause that type of shit get you killed. You can cover all your scars up in diamonds, but it's still gon' hurt.